Welcome back, class. Today's lesson we're going to be going over the Flash keyword ability. And I'm not going to lie, I'm a little biased. Flash is one of my favorite keyword abilities, right up there with Echo. Flash is an incredibly offensive and defensive ability, which is amazing considering just how simple it is. As you can see from its coloring, blue, Flash is a static keyword, which means it doesn't activate, it just simply is. It's continuous, it's constant. And the Flash keyword ability says, skip this attack's enhanced step, which means you play the card, you go through the response window of, does anyone have an ability that would activate that would respond to you playing a card, and then you go straight to block step. You don't have any enhances, your rival doesn't have any enhances. It cuts an entire interactive phase out of the attack. So if your rival has a lot of stuff that would reduce speed or reduce damage during the enhanced step, Flash skips over all of that. If you have an ability to give your rival's attack Flash, there's a foundation called Cheerleader which can do that, and your rival has a lot of abilities that would increase their own speed or damage on their attack, you can give that attack Flash, and it would go straight to the block step, which would negate your rival's ability to do all of that stuff. It stops your rival from being able to interact for the majority of your attack or their attack, which makes this an incredibly pivotal keyword offensively and defensively, because having attacks that your rival's not allowed to interact with is incredibly powerful. Being able to take away your rival's ability to interact with their own cards, even more so. I played a character, I believe it was 2 years ago now, at Nationals, Toru Hagakure 1. A character that not a lot of people thought was really good, but once per turn, she could give any attack that was played the Flash keyword. So she could guarantee that one attack would completely skip its enhanced step. And I used that character to almost make the top 32 of Nationals. I was one win away, sadly, and had I not sat across from Kirishima 2 in my final round, I'm sure I would have had it. But it is what it is, and that character stood no chance against Kirishima 2. So I got unlucky at the very end, but I was one win away from day 2 in top 32. But it was mainly because knowing what cards were in these decks, what cards that people wanted to play in these formats, I knew what key critical pieces I had to turn off using the Flash keyword to completely disrupt my opponent's strategy. And with most of my attacks having the Flash keyword, a lot of my opponent's defenses were useless. So again, a very tricky and pivotal keyword to use. The danger with it is you're usually dealing with printed stats. So your speed isn't usually going to be any higher, your damage isn't going to be really much higher, because you don't have that enhanced step to boost your own damage. So if you don't have high printed stats like Gently Theft here, with its 8 damage, it's going to be hard to do a lot of damage to your rival. However, it's still a really fascinating keyword. It's a really cool tech thing, because if your rival's playing a lot of enhances and you just play a Flash on them, you can really throw your opponent off guard and maybe sneak in some really good damage in the meantime. But that's all I have to say about Flash. It's a very simple keyword with a lot of work that you could put into it from either side. So it's simple in what it does, but complex in how you use it, which I really appreciate. But that's all I have to say about Flash. Until next time, class dismissed.